Good morning, friends, and welcome and happy Christmas season to you. Let's start with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Master Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we lay the flowers of our devotion gently at thy feet. O Christ, be born as thy consciousness within us. Uplift us at this holy time of Christmas. May we focus on the inner light of joy, of freedom within our own selves. Baptize us with thy presence at this sacred time. Om Shanti Shanti. We'll have a song that we'll see on video today, and then a talk by Swamiji that we'll see on video. Please enjoy.
The Christ child asleep, the silence is so deep. The Christ child asleep, the silence is so deep that round about with hope in their eyes. The animals await, their breathing they abate. They know their time has come to arise. For Jesus came on earth to offer second birth to all who would the blessing receive. The inner peace he brings can lift us on soul wings to soar in light and heaven perceive. Our pleasures and pains, our losses, our gains have kept us long bound. The ropes of yearning hemmed us round. We dreamed of imposing on desert sand, flower gardens of beauty, verdant vales of delight. Imagination misted our sight. The freedom we would know, Christ offered long ago, and even from his slumber flows peace. All creatures here on earth, alive to their own worth, can welcome love and win their release.
The Christ child asleep, the silence is so deep that round about with hope in their eyes. The animals await, their breathing they abate. They know their time has come to arise.
For Jesus came on earth to offer second birth to all who would the blessing receive. The inner peace he brings can power in might and heaven perceive. Our pleasures and pains, our losses, our gains have kept us long bound. The ropes of yearning hemmed us round. We dreamed of imposing on desert sand flower gardens of beauty, verdant vales of delight. Imagination misted our sight. The freedom we would know, Christ offered long ago, and even from his slumber flows peace. All creatures here on earth, alive to their own worth, can welcome love and win their release. The Christ child's asleep, the silence is so deep that round about with hope in their eyes, the animals await, their breathing they abate. They know their time has come to arise.
You know, I came to Master, well, most of you know it, in September of 1948, antediluvian, you might say. And at least not more than a month later, he invited me out to the desert. And then he said that the three wise men who came to the Christ child were Babaji, Lahiri Mahashai, and Sri Yukteswar. I don't think he'd ever said that before. It was very interesting. As I was working on his revelations of Christ, I just could not help thinking that Master was Baba, that Master was Jesus. The same personality, the same kind of humor, everything seemed the same. One time I asked him, "Sir, were you Jesus Christ?" He said, "What difference would it make?" Okay, I guess he didn't want it known, but I can't help thinking it all the same. I know one time he talked about Jesus, and he said that somebody with that kind of compassion for mankind would come back again and again. That wouldn't be just his only life. And of course, I think that he was William the Conqueror. Each time he came back, he came to save Christianity, or some aspect of Christianity. He came back as Fernando III in Spain to drive out the Moors. And I just can't help thinking that the two are the same. But the meaning of our gurus and the meaning of Christ, these great masters come back to this earth again and again. There's no problem with John the Baptist. He could easily have come as Sri Yukteswar in that form also, even though he was already born in this world. It would not matter. Masters can take several bodies at once. But that divine quality that comes with these masters, that is something for which we should be eternally grateful. When I meditate on the Christ, I feel so much cosmic love. And the churches have it all wrong. They should read passages like, "Be ye therefore perfect, and blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And it is more blessed to give than to receive. And before Abraham was, I am. Many, many other statements. If we want to be true Christians, and if we want to love Jesus, we should love him as an expression of that infinite consciousness. And we at Ananda are dedicated to perpetuating this teaching of Master's. Master came here to this world to teach original Christianity, not the original Christianity of churchianity. You've got to believe this in order to be saved and so on. What does it matter what you believe, what you experience, what you know, what is true? That is what counts. We have a great mission to perform, and let us give our lives to helping to spread this mission to the whole world. What I have done, I hope you will do. And I cannot be with you this Christmas except in one little point of this globe. But I send you all my love for Christmas and my prayers, and I hope to see you sooner or later. God bless you.
Welcome again, everyone. So wonderful to see and hear Swamiji at this very holy, sacred time. It's a time of really uplifting our own consciousness. The Christ child is asleep is one meaning, is the birth of the child, the baby Jesus. But another is our own consciousness. The Christ in us is asleep. And Master came to awaken that consciousness, to help us to uplift ourselves to the point between the eyebrows, to the spiritual eye, the seat of enlightenment, the seat of Christ consciousness, of Krishna consciousness, has to be awakened for us to become free. And the techniques that we have are all to uplift ourselves and uplift our consciousness and awaken the Christ. The star that the wise men followed to the birth of Christ was an inner star. It was the star at the point between the eyebrows. Master said that he came to bring, as Swamiji was saying, the original Christianity and the second coming of Christ. And I mean, I grew up in a Baptist church. I'm telling you, hardly anybody understands what Christmas is really about. It's a time to bring the consciousness of Christ into ourselves. One of my friends and I, we used to study the Bible when we were in college, and we'd read line after line and we didn't understand anything. In the church I went to, nobody understood anything. Until I came to Master, I didn't understand anything of the Christian religion and the Bible. And Master came to bring that understanding of Christ and of the consciousness that we all have to awaken in ourselves. The highest awareness, the highest reality within each one of us. When Dr. Lewis went to Master and he asked him about the Bible, the quote about the spiritual eye and the light there, and Master said he knew what it was about and he could show it to him. And Dr. Lewis said, I've been to many churches and nobody can tell me. And Master showed him the light by bringing his forehead to Dr. Lewis's forehead, and he showed him the light at the 1,000-petaled lotus. This is really what Christmas is about, is upliftment of consciousness to our highest state of awareness. This is why Jesus came. This is why all of our masters came, to show, not just bring the teachings, but to say, do it yourself, uplift yourself in the highest consciousness. And thus we have also at Christmas time, Master divided Christmas into the social Christmas, which is wonderful. I grew up with that, the Christmas tree and the lights outside of your house and all the presents and the friends and the cakes and cookies and all the wonderful feeling of joy in the air. But Master said that's one aspect of Christmas. The other aspect is inner. the outward social Christmas and the spiritual Christmas, which we celebrate by having an 8-hour Christmas meditation. I hope you all are participating. We had a beautiful one in Gurgaon just last Sunday. Many people attended. Many people stayed the whole 8 hours, and brand new people stayed the whole 8 hours. It's the Christmas, the real Christmas day is at that 8-hour meditation. And Master started it in 1931, and Ananda's had it 50 plus years since the beginning of Ananda. Don't miss it. It's a very holy time, and the vibrations, the blessings, the karma you burn off, the upliftment you have, all your meditations afterwards, the peace that you feel, the stillness, the silence, the ability to go within and be centered in yourself, they last a very long time. And I feel that if you go deep enough, the Master's visit, I could feel it in the temple on Sunday, and many of you were there. I'm sure you're watching from Gurgaon. You could sense there was divine presences in the temple, and that's the Master's coming and blessing everybody. If you can't get to a center or do an online meditation, if those are happening this year, do it on your own or do something, 3 hours or something, but don't just go into Christmas as a social Christmas. That's very secondary. The real Christmas is upliftment of spirit. And Master gave an explanation of what the symbols of Christmas are, which I'll read to you now. He said the Christmas tree is a symbol of the astral spine. And the lights on the Christmas tree reflect the beauty of the lights of the chakras. So beautiful. The star, which is always at the top of the Christmas tree, is the star or the light of the Christ center at that chakra, at the spiritual eye, which is the star in the east, the eastern part of the body that the wise men followed to see the Christ. And just remember, these holy times, there's so much grace. There's so many blessings that come. If we can attune ourselves to those blessings, great spiritual progress can be made at these times of the year. I wish you all a holy, wonderful, happy Christmas and an inner Christmas where you can feel the touch, the blessing of Christ, a Master, like Dr. Lewis did, and many of Master would hold the long meditation himself. He would lead it. One meditation, he was so much in ecstasy that he had a vision of the Divine Mother, and he talked to her out loud as so the disciples could hear, and he kept repeating over and over, "You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. Please don't leave us. You're so beautiful." Then he said, "Oh, the materialistic thoughts of these people are driving you away. Oh, please don't go. Please don't go." And that's what happens. The thoughts, the desires, the attachments, they drive the Christ consciousness away. They drive the Masters away. They drive Divine Mother away. And that's why Master had that special time when you're just there. No people, other people outside your gurbais around, no phone, no social media, no things that you have to do. You're just all day in Christ consciousness, the deepest you can go, seeing the light as much as you can, and not just seeing the light, going through the tunnel of the spiritual eye, the golden ring with the blue field and the star, 5-pointed star in the middle of the spiritual eye. Master says it's not enough to see, but to actually go through that light and to become Christ-like, like Christ in your consciousness. I'd like to end now with a reading from this book, Metaphysical Meditations from Master on the Christmas. This is on Christmas Eve. Lift your eyes and concentrate within. Behold the astral star of divine wisdom. Let the wise thoughts in you follow that telescopic star to behold the Christ everywhere. In the land of everlasting Christmas, a festive, omnipresent Christ consciousness, you will find Jesus, Krishna, the saints of all religions, the great guru preceptors, all waiting to give you a divine floral reception of ever new, everlasting happiness. Prepare for the baby Christ by decorating the Christmas tree of your universal love with gifts of calmness, forgiveness, nobility, service, kindness, spiritual understanding, and devotion, wrapped in your golden goodwill and bound with the silver cord of your pure sincerity. Enjoy this festivity, the birth of Christ, in your mind and soul and in every living atom. By daily meditation, you will prepare the cradle of your consciousness to behold the infinite baby Christ, and every day will become a true Christmas of Christ communion. Let the omniscient Christ consciousness come to earth a second time and be born in you, even as it once manifested in the body of Jesus. And then Master gives a footnote. Christ consciousness in Sanskrit is Kutastha Chaitanya, the blissful consciousness in all creation that remains ever unchanged. Om Shanti Shanti. I'll ask Nitendra to join now with some questions.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. We have 4 questions. I'll just share the list. The first question, Dhyanaji, is are the teachings of Jesus only for Christians?
Well, as you can see that they're not. Therefore, people, anyway, people who aren't Christians have seen the star, have seen the spiritual eye, have beheld these experiences within of the chakras, felt them, felt energy rising in the spine, heard the Om. These aren't teachings that are just for people who believe in Christ. And Master said, very interestingly, he said that Jesus was crucified once, but his teachings every day for over 2,000 years, because people don't understand them. Like Swamiji gave those quotes just now in his talk. And so these teachings are for those who want to arrive at the level of that consciousness of Christ, of Krishna, of Buddha, of any great master. And we're blessed because Jesus is also one of our masters, one of the line of gurus. He's not on the altar just as Americans would say, because we're in America, so he put Jesus on the altar because people believe in Jesus. Master said, no, he's one of the gurus. And it was Jesus who asked if this teaching could be brought back again to America, to the West. And this is why Master went. And so this is, people don't understand. And there's some wonderful books and also on YouTube, wonderful teachings, videos about the life of Jesus and how he was in India and how he taught in India. And it's important to understand that it wasn't a sectarian Christian belief that Jesus brought. As I said, in the church I was in, nobody understood what Jesus's teachings were. It was all about emotion. And when I came to Master then, and I read autobiography and I read his teachings, I started meditating. Then I understood what the life of Jesus was about and why he came to bring a second. Master said he came to bring the second coming of Christ. And Master also said in autobiography, Jesus practiced Kriya. He taught it to his close disciples. There was Saint John who said, I die daily through releasing himself from the body and going into bliss. And so it's important at Christmas. We don't say, no, we don't. We're in India. We don't believe in Jesus. He was a great master and one of our masters. And also all that Master talked about, well, then you heard what Swamiji said. If the three wise men were Babaji, Lahiri Mahashaya, and Swami Sri Teswarji, and God bless Swamiji, he had the courage to ask Master, well then, were you Jesus Christ? The Master couldn't say. He said, what difference does it make? He didn't say yes, and he didn't say no. So I think read between the lines, you know, and you can imagine Swami Sri Teswarji as John the Baptist. My goodness. I mean, these are very deep, what I want to say is realities that we only see this much of what's really happening, but these masters come again and again and again for the same reasons, to awaken our consciousness in God consciousness. So I would say, understand more what Jesus's life was. What were his teachings? Master wrote, and Swamiji edited his teachings on revelations of Christ, on the teachings of Jesus. It's important to read and understand. So yes, I would say, don't see it as just something for Christians.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji. Dhyanaji, would you like to share how was Christmas with Swamiji at Ananda?
Christmas at Ananda with Swamiji was astral. You saw on the video with the song, some of those pictures were real pictures from the Christmas celebrations at Ananda. It was always very spiritual, very deep, so much joy, but deep joy, because everybody went to the long meditation, either for half of it, or most people went for all of it. Some people went to two of them, one at the meditation retreat, one at the expanding light. So Christmas for us was meditation. And then afterwards, we would gather at Swamiji's house on Christmas Day, and that was wonderful. Everybody would bring some dish, some sweet or something to eat, and everybody came, and everybody brought presents. The other thing, we had a Divine Mother, and they still do, Divine Mother exchange. So there's 250 people. So how are you going to buy a gift for everybody? So you'd have a name and you'd buy a gift for that person. It was from Divine Mother. So everybody got some gift, but then everybody brought gifts to Swamiji. There were a mountain of presents for Swamiji. And it was just heavenly. How can I put it best? You were in a higher state of consciousness around him. And it was joyful, but uplifted joy. It wasn't giggly. It was a very refined, very uplifted. And everyone wore their best outfits. And you just felt like you were in the astral realms. And Swamiji, he held that vibration. So you couldn't just sort of go off and do something weird. He just held that vibration. When you were with him, you always felt uplifted. Always. I never felt, oh, my energy is going down now. It was always held up. And then I've told this story, but I'll tell it again, since I have 1 minute left, that we were in India. Swamiji would celebrate with the devotees here. And one year he just was so ill, he could barely get down the stairs at his house at Guru Kripa. So we didn't say anything when he came in his living room, and some minutes went by and he was really, really bad off. And then someone said, well, Swamiji, can we sing for you some of the Christmas songs? And And he said, okay, that would be good. And everybody spontaneously starts singing. One person would name a song, we all start singing that song, and then it's another song. And with every song, Swamiji picked up. And then by the end, we sang maybe 5 or 6 songs, maybe more. Then Swamiji talked for an hour and a half about Master and Christmas with Master. And he just regained, you could tell that everybody got a blessing because Swamiji, Master healed him. That's what I felt had happened. The other part I left out is everyone was moaning and groaning before because we're here, there's no Christmas, nobody likes Christmas here, there's no tree, there's a presents, where are the lights? You know, it's like as if you were at America, Diwali, and nobody celebrated. So, but after I came out of that room, after hearing Swamiji talk about Master and Christmas, I said, wow, that's Christmas. Who cares about the tree and the lights? We just experienced Christ's vibration and consciousness, and Master and Christ were in that room. So that's what it was like to be with Swamiji at Christmas. It wasn't giggly, it was very, very deep. And I think that's why we continued in India to hold the long meditations, because you're deep. Then you can go into the rest of the holiday with that consciousness.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. We are up on time, but just one quick question.
Mm.
What tips would you give to those who are going to attend the long meditation in the coming weekend?
Yeah, the night before, be more quiet and more inward. Don't eat a lot. Don't socialize, watch movies and all that. Just put it aside. I would say from 6 o'clock onward, at least, be by yourself, meditate more, listen to Swamiji's music or talks or Master's voice, get all your things ready. I took my things the day before to the temple. And so don't rush out of the house. No, I forgot my headphones. No, I forgot this, and you're rushing around. You don't want that in the morning. Get your things ready the night before. And the morning of, energize well, do yoga postures, do more Mahamudra, get your space set. Don't rush in there. Don't come late, like for God's sake. And people do. Don't come late. Come either at the beginning or at the break. And don't walk in and out, in and out. Oh, I need this now. I need water now. Just don't disturb other people. And the first part is more with the techniques, and the second part is more devotional. So do the practices. You can do the Kriya prep practices also. Navi Kriya, chanting Om at the tensing, relaxing, and Om at each chakra. More Kriyas. You can divide up the number, but you don't just sit there and think something's going to happen. You have to put out a lot of energy to make that meditation deep. Om you can do for a long time, second Kriya, third, fourth. You got a lot of time there. And so you don't come away thinking, no, I forgot to do Hong San this, I forgot to do Om technique. And finally, I'll say what I saw on people's faces as they were leaving was bliss. And I felt so joyful. I was going to burst out of my body. It was just such a blissful time. And so do go for whatever amount of time you can. And if you can't on Christmas Eve, do it at home on your own. Do something. Master set the tradition and we should stick with it. So I hope that's helpful. Okay. God bless you all. Happy Christmas. God bless you.